I'm Bill Marion. This is a Nose for Life. We are on the banks of the scenic and beautiful Hiwassee River here in one of my favorite places on earth, Reliance.
The Reliance Historical District is located in the National Register of Historic Places. Located in the Cherokee National Forest on the banks of the Hiwassee River in Polk County, Tennessee, Reliance and the surrounding area is one of my favorite places to visit on the planet. Whether it's the scenic Hiwassee River or the majestic surrounding mountains, Reliance is one of those special places with many secrets and mysteries. Even John Muir, naturalist and preservationist, walked along the banks of the Hiwassee and referred to its streams as mysteriously charming and beautiful. The Upper Hiwassee River is about a 30-minute drive from the Ocoee River, home of the 1996 kayaking event in the Olympics. But coming to Reliance in the Upper Hiwassee is like stepping back in time. In fact, unlike the Ocoee, when you raft or kayak the Hiwassee, you're surrounded by history you can touch. Ghosts from the past seem to walk the banks of the river, telling their stories to anyone who will listen. But it was the Cherokee Indians who were the first to clear timber and farm the valleys and low areas. But their time in the region was cut short due to the Indian Removal Act of 1830. I'm saving the Trail of Tears for a different video, but I provided information about the Indian Removal Act in the description.
But in the 1880s, the railroad was coming through Polk County, particularly Reliance, which meant opportunity. So Calvin Higdon built the hotel that's behind me in about 1898, give or take a couple of years. Some sources say 1890, but it became known as the Higdon Hotel. In fact, Reliance for a long time was called Higdon Town, or by some sources, or Higdonsville, because the railroad workers loved this hotel. There's some reasons perhaps that are kind of a conspiracy as to why they loved this hotel so much, but I'm gonna leave that one for rumors and conjecture, because apparently it was just a nice hotel with some very unique amenities. And I don't mean cable TV or the internet. Just use your imagination. But for reasons nobody can explain, the hotel mysteriously shut down in 1920. Just shut down. In the early 1990s, there were efforts to renovate the Higdon Hotel, but mysteriously, those renovation ideas stopped too. Nobody knows why the renovation stopped. There's a great link that I put in the description below with the Higdon Association. It's a pretty good website.
The new rail line that connected Knoxville to Marietta, Georgia was an economic opportunity, but it came with danger. Coal-burning trains moving through national forests caused forest fires. So in addition to the Higdon Hotel, Calvin Higdon built what became known as the Watchman House. The house was built for railroad workers who were in charge of watching for accidental fires caused by passing trains through the community.
Now it's been rebuilt to serve as a cozy little cottage to stay over the weekend here at Reliance while you enjoy fishing or hiking or kayaking, fun yakking, whatever you do. My wife and I stayed here with our 3 kids about 12 years ago. We had the best experience. We had a wonderful time. We told stories, and it's a great family place. If you're ever in the area, I highly recommend staying at the Watchman's house at Reliance. Behind me is a community center that was built in around 1899. It was a community center that was built for all kinds of activities. During the week, it served as a school, and on the weekends, it served as a church. But there's 2 stories to this building. There's the top story, and then there's the bottom story, or the bottom level, I should say. The bottom level, of course, is where they had church and where they had school. But the top level was reserved for one group of people, the Masonic Lodge. Yeah, actually, 2 groups of 2 entities actually built this building. The first entity was the Union Church that was located here in Reliance, but also the local Masonic Lodge. They got together and helped build this building in 1899. But the second floor was reserved for the secret meetings of the Masonic Lodge.
Okay, I doubt anyone was planning a fake moon landing or plotting the New World Order at this local lodge. But another family is continuing to contribute to the history of Reliance even today. The Webb family is perhaps the most remembered and beloved residents of Reliance. During the Great Depression, people living in the mountains were just like everyone else, creating new ways to make a living. In 1936, Oliver and Harold Webb took a chance, and they opened up a gas station and general store. Soon after, Oliver Webb was appointed postmaster. So the Webb Brothers General Store was also the post office for many decades. Webb Brothers General Store is still in operation today. In fact, their grandson, Harold Webb, is the owner and operator of this historic national treasure. But for most people, kayaking, rafting, and fun yakking or fishing the Hiwassee, Webb Float Service is where you go to gear up to catch a shuttle ride and begin a grand adventure down the Hiwassee.
My name is Harold Webb. My dad and uncle were Oliver and Harold Webb. The Webb Brothers started in business in 1936 with a little general country store. Oliver was the postmaster. 1969, we started in the rafting business. We're the oldest rafting company in Polk County. And we still do basically the same thing that we started out doing, renting tubes and rafts, and since then the popular thing on the river is fun yaks. That's what we do more of than anything. It's a fun afternoon. Takes about 4 hours in a tube, 3 hours in a raft, 2 hours in a fun yak. You have a lot more control in fun yaks. You're not sitting right in the cold water. So we do a lot more of those than it used to be mostly tubers.
Listen, if you're heading south on 75 for that Florida vacation, or if you're local and you've been thinking about going down the Hiwassee, check out the Webb Brothers link in the description. It's a blast and it won't kill your bank account. And if you call yourself a fisherman, whether you're a fly fisherman or you prefer the old natural corn and hook method, you have to come to Reliance and catch a shuttle to the beginning of the whitewater on the Hiwassee. People come from all over the U.S. just to fish the Hiwassee.
Well, I'm Matthew Wells. I've been worked here. This is my first summer. I've been on the river since I was like 5 years old. First time I ever went down it, I was 5 and I was in a little fun yak.
My name is Burgundy Kane, and this is my first year here at Webb's. I really love working on the Hiwassee River because you never do the same thing twice. You meet a lot of interesting people.
There are trails all over the area to walk, including the John Muir Trail, which we'll talk about later, but there are literally trails, and I'm on one of them now on Hood Mountain. Now, Hood Mountain is on the road that leads you to Appalachia Powerhouse at Reliance. There's a great trail here where you can see the river. Right now, we're over Big Bend. That's a part of the Hiwassee River. It's a huge bend in the river, and you can hear the train as I'm talking that goes around Big Bend. But this is a great trail to walk on Hood Mountain here in Reliance. On the other side of the river is a railroad track, and about 10 years ago, they started the trains running again for tourists, and it's been a huge success. You can catch a train and go all the way, well actually I don't even know where it goes. I've never been on that trip. I need to try it sometime. But it goes along the river, and it's a real scenic ride.
So I found out if you want to take a sightseeing trip along the Hiwassee on a train, you can. You just board the train at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum in Etowah. I'll put a link in the description below.
So the water here at Reliance, when released from the flumes, is 59 degrees year-round, which is pretty cold. Cold for me. This is also, right here is where they put in the rafts and the tubes, as you can see, and the kayaks and fun yaks. I've also heard that you can occasionally see a bear here, and as you know, we like bear if you've seen any of our other videos. Oh yeah, they also have snakes here. And I like snakes. Most people probably don't, but I do.
For the record, I hate snakes. Disgusting creatures. My wife has issues. Sorry. Everybody has their favorite part of Reliance or the Hiwassee River, but mine happens to be here at the Appalachia Powerhouse. The Appalachia Powerhouse is really interesting. If you notice, there's two large pipes that come from the top of the mountain there and down. Now the water is flumed in all the way from a lake in North Carolina. So like Carolyn was saying earlier, when the water from the flumes hit the Hiwassee River, they're very cold because they're from the bottom of a lake and they've been without sunshine all the way from North Carolina here to Tennessee. And so it's about 59 degrees. So even here in July, you can notice in some of our other video footage that there's a huge fog that comes off of the river. And that's because the water's very cold, and of course it's very hot outside. But if you notice, there's a bridge behind me, a wooden bridge, and when you walk across it, it tends to swing. I love this place. I love the swinging bridge, but if you look behind me, this isn't a place you would want to go swimming because the water drops all the way into there, and if you can see, the water is all churning, and they generate power here at this location. So the water is kind of violent and turbulent through here. There's a lot of fish in these waters, a whole lot of fish. On a clear day, when they're not generating water, you can actually see fish from up here on the bridge. They generate water every day during the summer for about 7 or 8 hours a day, mainly to keep the trout healthy and of course for sportsmen. But during the off season, they don't always generate water. So sometimes the water levels are pretty low. So most of the rapids here on the Hiwassee, just like the Ocoee River, most of the rapids are generated from dams that are in the region.
What I failed to mention is that the water actually starts in Georgia, then goes through North Carolina, and then plunges to the Hiwassee through these flumes.
And upriver, just past the powerhouse, you can follow the John Muir Trail.
The John Muir Trail is about 20 miles long. Now, John Muir was a poet, philosopher, and author, and he was instrumental in land preservation just for the sake of its beauty. Muir wrote about his hiking experience along the Hiwassee way back in 1867. And the trail is amazing. I find that many hiking magazines that describe John Muir's trail in Tennessee, they do an adequate job, sort of. It's a trail you really have to hike to, well, get it. And like anything else, not everyone gets it, including other hikers. But John Muir, he got it, and maybe you will too. If you like to hike, it has to be added to your bucket list. And if you like to go kayaking or rafting, the Hiwassee River has to be added to your list as well. Hey, listen, I can't tell you how grateful I am that you're watching our videos. We believe in living life to its absolute fullest, and I hope all of our videos challenge you to go out and do. I really need your help in growing this channel so that we can increase the quality of our videos. By subscribing and clicking the like button, you're helping out so much, and I'm very thankful. By sharing our videos, we can grow exponentially. We have some great plans for the future, and we're really glad you're a part of it. But I want to hear what you have to say as well, so leave a comment. Add some information about the areas we're exploring and let us know what you think. I'm Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life.